The slap still echoes in my head. Sharp, public, final. My mother's ring left a welt on my cheek, glinting under the chandelier of the ballroom we'd rented for my engagement party. Gasps filled the room. My father tried to pull her back, but she shouted over the music, voice slicing through the crowd like glass. "Give your sister the 45,000 now, or this engagement is off." Everyone froze. My fiancé, Daniel, stared at me in disbelief. His parents stood in stunned silence. And me? I just straightened my dress, wiped the blood from the corner of my lip, and smiled. That was the last time she ever raised her hand at me. It hadn't always been like this. There was a time I thought my mother was my anchor, strong, proud, protective. She taught me to fight for what I wanted, but somehow that lesson only applied when what I wanted didn't clash with my sister's needs. Lily, the golden child, the dreamer who never worked a day in her life but always managed to need something: money, help, attention. When I got engaged, my parents congratulated me with champagne smiles and a promise. "We'll give you 45,000 for your wedding," Dad had said. "You deserve it." But as the months went by, the tone changed. Lily's car broke down. Lily's rent was due. Lily needed just a little from my fund. By the time my engagement party arrived, I'd already heard the whispers. That my parents were planning to corner me. That my mother wanted to test whether I loved family more than money. So I prepared. Quietly. Precisely. When her hand struck my face that night, I saw it in Daniel's eyes. Rage, pity, confusion. He reached for me, but I stopped him with a look. "Don't," I whispered. I wanted her to finish. I wanted everyone to see exactly what she was. Because I wasn't the same girl she used to control. "I'm not giving her my wedding fund," I said calmly. "It's mine." Her face twisted. Ungrateful brat! And that's when she did it. The slap. The crowd gasping. The humiliation she thought would break me. Instead, it solidified everything. I looked her dead in the eyes and said, "You're about to get a surprise you'll never forget." Then I turned away, toward the doors. Right on cue, Daniel's father walked in. What she didn't know was that the engagement party wasn't just a celebration. It was a test. Mine. I'd already told Daniel everything. Every manipulation, every guilt trip, every lie they fed me growing up. I showed him the texts where my mother told me to act humble around my sister because you already have too much. His father, a retired lawyer, had been the one to help me protect myself. 3 weeks before the party, I'd moved the wedding fund into a trust, under my name only, legal, untouchable, and completely out of their reach. And tonight, that lawyer, Daniel's father, had come with documents. He didn't say a word at first, just handed my mother an envelope. Her trembling fingers tore it open. Her eyes scanned the papers. Confusion, shock, then fear. I could almost see the realization crawl across her face. The house she'd put under my name 5 years ago for tax reasons, now legally mine. The savings account she'd used my identity to open for family purposes, frozen and reported. Everything she'd built on my back, every secret deal, every borrowed dollar, was now exposed. "I suggest you read carefully," Daniel's father said, his voice calm, lawyer cold. "These transactions were unauthorized. She could press charges." My father went pale. My mother stammered, You wouldn't." "Oh, I would," I said, "and I have." Silence. Then whispers. Guests began to edge away, pretending not to stare. My mother's eyes darted wildly between me, the papers, and Daniel's father. I stepped closer, close enough for her to smell the perfume she'd mocked me for wearing. "For years, you made me feel small. You said I owed you everything. But tonight, Mom, you owe me." Her face broke. The control she'd built her whole life, gone in one sentence. I didn't shout, didn't cry. I just turned to the guests and said, "I think that concludes the party." Then Daniel and I walked out, hand in hand, while my mother's sobs echoed behind us. She called the next morning, 15 missed calls, then a text. "You've ruined this family." No, I thought, you did. By the end of the week, the truth was out. Everyone knew what she'd done. The loans, the lies, the way she tried to bleed me dry. Her friends stopped calling. Her reputation cracked. Lily moved in with a boyfriend who couldn't even pay his own bills. And me? I planned a small wedding by the ocean. No drama, no manipulation, just peace. Sometimes I still think about that night. The sting on my cheek. The silence that followed my words. It wasn't revenge that satisfied me. It was reclaiming my voice in the same room where she tried to take it. And the best part? Every time she